Welcome back to Pokemon XD's Postgame. Last time we finished up the first set of Aura Coliseum, and thankfully we're not going to be doing anything more without EV Train Pokemon. I will be doing these as extra videos after everything's done, but until then we don't need to worry about this place. We got an email from Bellu from Agate Village, so let's head there to begin our, well, one of the only postgame quests in this game, actually. And it's a very weird one, but like I said in the last part, the reward is very much worth it. So to start this quest, we need to go and talk to Bellu. It's been a long time since we've been back in Agate Village, and I actually really miss it. It's kind of a shame you don't get to do much here in this game. It was a bit more significant in Coliseum, because you had to keep coming back here for the Relic Stone. But anyway, we actually get a bit to do with this quest. So at least it gives Agate Village some more screen time. And yes, her email is cut off. So at least we know the exact number. There are 5 Pokemon, and if you remember what those Pokemon are, one of them is actually pretty close. So let's go behind Egan and Bellu's house, and head down to this Poochyena. Thankfully that creepy Mightyena lady, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is the same creepy Mightyena lady from the last game, which begs the question of where this Poochyena come from, but anyway, this Poochyena doesn't seem to be talking very much. So, we have a Pokemon that's lost its voice. Now, let's check. Let's go to the right-hand side of the village, because remember that Tailo who'd often get us berries? Let's see if anything's wrong with it now. You can probably tell what the running theme is here. Let's go behind this waterfall. Yep, Tailo's not chirping. Okay, so we have a couple of leads, a unique machine, and you just been to the Pokemon Center. Gotta bear those in mind. We're on the case, we've got to pick up all the clues we can. So if we go down here, there's a Lotad around this area, and it's also lost its voice. No real clues there, but, well, it seems like we know what affliction's spreading, and it seems to have affected every Pokemon in the village. There are 2 more, and you can probably remember what they are. The first is Silinor's Wobbuffet, and the other one is, well, the formerly Tsundere Torchic from Coliseum. It's now Combusken, and it is no longer Tsundere. But at this point, it couldn't be Tsundere even if it wanted to, because it's lost its voice too. So, with all that, it should be pretty obvious which Pokemon has lost its voice now. That's also why I took care of doing all of the Battle CD stuff before this, because normally talking to Wobbuffet on the overworld gives you a Battle CD, but during this quest, Wobbuffet has gone silent. Pokemon Translator, huh? Although that's kind of an interesting idea. If it has side effects like this, that definitely isn't a good thing. And especially if it won't come off easily. So you said the old man at the Pokemon Center likes peculiar inventions, so that's our next lead. When I first did this quest, I kind of jumped the gun here and instantly figured out what the source of these was and went to it, but you have to go to the Pokemon Center first, even though it should be pretty obvious who's behind all this. I also tried reporting back to Bellu after talking to the 5 Pokemon, but that doesn't really change anything. Yes, it is you who gave them to Pokemon. That means you did it! It was you! Arrest this man! But it seems he didn't really know about the side effects of this thing. Of course it was Dr. Kaminko! Why wouldn't it be him? Thankfully, we do know where he lives, so we can pay him a visit. And he's gonna get a very stern talking to. At least his Robo-Kyogre was useful. Let's go back to Bellu and see if she's saying anything new. Nope, nothing. Next stop, Kamiko's house, and it's a really good thing these two locations are close on the world map, because we're going to have to be going back and forth between here for a while. This is, to me, the most annoying thing about this quest, and you're about to find out why. Not just yet, but very soon. So, back to Kamiko's Manor. Hi there. Only 13 in the world, and yet there are only 5 Pokemon in Agate Village. That's a hint as to where this quest will eventually be taking us. Well, at least this was an achievement of his in his early years, so it's not like he intentionally made this device now. And we get a voice case. Only one of them, though. 1 out of 5 that we need to cure. Okay, find the Pokemon that cries in the same way. And we can't actually hear the cry from the menu. If we try to use the voice case from the menu, it doesn't do anything. We actually have to talk to him to get the cry to play. Okay, that sounds like Combusken. Let's go. And this leads me to something else about this quest. This would suck for anyone hearing impaired playing this game. It really would. It's especially annoying because the second part of this quest, most of the second part doesn't require any audio cues, but since this is entirely based on hearing cries and matching them to the Pokemon, and it's entirely audio and not at all visual, yeah, I dread to think of what hearing impaired people would think of this quest in the game. But anyway, if you aren't insane like me and don't have the cries of every Pokemon memorized off the top of your head, you can, I believe, check cries in the strategy memo. So let's just see if I can get to Combusken, who should be under C. There we go. So, yeah, even if you don't remember Pokemon's cries, you still have the strategy memo to look them up. And we got it right! That is detached Combusken's Pokemon Translator. And yeah, it just says Busken now, it doesn't say Sun, like in Colosseum. And here's the annoying part of the quest. We have to go all the way back to Dr. Kaminko and get another voice case. We have to repeat this trip back and forth for every Pokemon in Agate Village. Well, except one. But still, 4 times is very annoying. So, every time after this, I'll be cutting out the trip to Kaminko's Manor. So now we have voice case number 2. And we have to talk to him to get the cry. Okay, that sounds like Poochyena. Let's go. Okay, time to cure a doggy. Or young hyena, whatever the case may be. And that dislodges this translator. So, back to the manor. Voice case number 3 gets. What cry do we have this time? Talo. Let's go. I admit that for its time, Talo's cry was actually a pretty good bird sound. Starly's was even better. And I believe if you talk to him right away, you can still get a berry. Persian berry. I forget if you can get lumberries or not from this guy, but if you can, that'd be great for Aura Colosseum. Voice case number 4! What will it be this time? Well, there's only 2 possibilities. And it's Wobbuffets. Voice case number 4 is always Wobbuffet. I forget if the other ones are in a fixed order or if they're random. I seem to remember when I was practicing this, I may have got Poochyena first, so maybe they are random except for Wobbuffet, because I know that Wobbuffet is always the 4th one you get. So, let's go and try and help out Wobbuffet. Because his owner's pretty depressed, so we should do a good thing here. But it doesn't seem to be working. This is actually pretty sad. Like, when I was a kid, I never really paid much attention to that, but now that I'm older, that just feels really depressing to me. What we need to do now is we need to go back to Kaminko's house and tell him that this attempt to dislodge Wobbuffet's translator didn't work. I love how the dialogue just describes this. We have an email. So, it seems this malady is spreading. We now have Pokemon outside of Agate Village who've lost their voice. Thankfully, he happens to have Shroomish's voice case right here. So no need to talk to him to repeat the cry. Let's go to Pyrite Town and save that Shroomish. You know, while I'm here, I want to check a couple of things. Is there anything about this on the news at all? I don't think so. I feel like the news is going to be displaying the same thing that it did during, Citadark Isle. Yeah, there we go. Blah, 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 blah. Can't reach its headquarters. Blah, blah, blah. Already been there, done that. Let's see if there's anyone at the jail. Well, the chief is out. I actually know where he... Really? Really? This guy has locked himself in a cell. Again, Aure's criminal justice system is still... It still has a long way to go. Thankfully, Meg is right at the start of this place, so we don't need to walk very far. You have one of those too, huh? And it's all over the place. Seems like someone has been spreading that invention around. Now we have to go back to Dr. Kaminko, but fortunately, this is the last of all the back and forth. So, hi there, your invention is more widespread than we thought, and we need serious help. And, yes, it was Chobin. Chobin was behind everything, accidentally. So if you actually talk to Kaminko before this quest begins, he'll explain why Chobin isn't here. He says that Chobin has gone on a quest to prove the superiority of Robo-Pokemon. In other words, he's at Ore Coliseum. So we won't be seeing him until then. And so, now that we're out of voice cases, Kaminko will give us this, the Cry Analyzer. And this means that instead of matching up cries, we just need to answer a quiz to detach the translator. And we need to find all 13 of them and detach them. It really begs the question though, why didn't we just get the Cry Analyzer immediately? That would have saved so much backtracking, because now that we have this, we can cure all of the Pokemon without needing to run back and forth between, Kaminko's house and outside of it. Now, there is one Pokemon in Agate Village that we haven't cured yet, but I'll get to that later. For now, let's hit Fenner. Actually, no, wait. Gate and Port is closer. Let's do Gate and Port first. This part of the game is kind of interesting because it makes you remember where all of the Pokemon were found in the world. Like the Pokemon that you can actually see just hanging around outside of Pokeballs. One of them was this sailor's Oddish. Remember this guy? His grandfather/father was angry at him because he quit sailing to live a life on the land. Again, Team Magma would love to recruit this guy. But his Oddish has lost its voice. So, quiz time. What item is needed to evolve Gloom into Blossom? That would be a Sunstone. A lot of people still wish Umbreon would evolve with a Moonstone and Espeon would evolve with a Sunstone, but anyway. And Oddish is cured. And this guy isn't saying anything new. There was also, and this is one that many people would probably miss, a Magnemite all the way out on a house that you need these bridges to access. So, thankfully the bridges are in a good configuration here. Let's go over here, let's move this bridge. Because the Magnemite was in a house down here. If you didn't visit this house before, it might be difficult to finish this quest because you'll be looking all over the place and, yeah, it turns out the Magnemite you need is right here. Well, that's an obvious quiz. Secret passwords. Yeah, secret passwords. So, Magnemite can speak again. And he's not really saying much for us. So, there are two more Pokemon in Gate and Port that we need to fix. I actually hit the right button this time. And they are the two Krabbies at the Krabby Club. While we're here, though, I will probably show off something else at the Krabby Club that I haven't shown yet. I like this, something that I didn't really mention, something that I feel is a little bit underrated about this game is just, the world does change as you go through the game. Like in particular, the fact that the acts at the Krabby Club keep changing. I want to understand something. Are these sailors saying anything different? Okay, no, their dialogue hasn't changed. But what has changed is if we go into the Krabby Club, Razzle and Dazzle are back! So let's say hi. And the patrons are clearly glad to see them return. Also, the dialogue here has changed a little bit. So yeah, that was the guy, if we remember from before, who was almost on the SS Libra, but he missed the ship, which was insanely lucky. And yeah, there's different dialogue now that you know that Mr. Verich was the boss of Cypher. So it's kind of cool how people's dialogue here changes to normal things, and also... Hi there! Should you really be here? Yeah. He actually has slightly different dialogue the first time you talk to him. I think I have that recorded in my Battle CD montage. I spoke to him during that. But anyway, upstairs we have the two Krabbies here. And we have a quiz that, there are a few weird things about this. Firstly, notice the name tag there? We just saw it! Yeah. That is such a dumb quiz. Also, if I remember from reading a guide to this that still have the Japanese names of these Krabbies I think are like Taro and Hanako. So if that one was Krabilly, this one is Krabetti. Now, someone else on YouTube pointed this out, but I think it's a pretty good point. How the heck did the Cry Analyzer know the names of those two Krabbies? Especially since he made the thing 13 years ago. That is kind of scary, actually. The machine has a mind of its own! So anyway, that's every Pokemon at Gate and Port cured. Time to head to Phoenix City, where there are actually quite a few Pokemon. On the way, though, I just want to show something quickly. There's something a little different at the Cypher Key Lair if we head back there. Don't worry, it shows up pretty soon into the place. I found this while I was looking for battle CDs. So, the reporters are here, but also Chief Shirls. So now that we've pretty much taken out Cypher's operation here, the police are cleaning up and making arrests. So, they are at least good for something, sometimes. So, not really much, but I like the nice detail there. So, let's go to the city as cool and blue as, yeah, I don't even know why I referenced that. But anyway, Phoenix City. So, the first Pokemon is right here. The Azumarill. This is worded a little bit weirdly. I feel like this should have just said, what is this Pokemon's pre-evolution, because it's Marill. And that's that quiz answered. And the Castform's not even running around the fountain anymore. So let's see what quiz we have here. Well, this should be pretty obvious. Lol, this one. And I was trying to think off the top of my head which is the Carefree Pokemon. I'm pretty sure it's actually Ludicolo. Don't know why that's in there. Ludicolo has no relation to Castform at all. Well, I guess both of them like rain, but... Anyway, we have detached the Pokemon Translator from Castform. And they go running again. So, that's Castform down. Up here, though, there is a Linoon. I remember there's one here because there was a guy with an Absol here during the Cypher takeover. Well, don't worry, we have the cure here. And this is the one Cryanalyzer quiz that does suck for people who are hearing impaired, because... the first one was Linoon, the second is Zigzagoon, so it's number 1. Well, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of trainers don't worry when their Pokemon is sick, because in this world, Pokerus is beneficial, but, anyway. There's also the guy with the C-Dot here. Nice callback to the main storyline there. But let's see. Really? 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 Again, secret, gigantic air quotes, passwords. Well, I mean, admittedly, this was invented by the same guy who made a Pokemon translator that causes Pokemon to lose their voice, so it's probably just as defective as the hardware itself is, but yeah. Actually, I want to check if the mayor is saying anything new. He probably isn't. Hi there, spoilers for Colosseum. Probably should put a warning up there. But, yeah, spoilers. There is actually something at Phoenix Stadium that we can do, but I'll save that till a bit later, because it's not related to this quest. It's not related to anything, really. It's just a weird detail that I didn't cover during the main story. So, back to Agate Village. Before we go and try and cure Wobbuffet, we have the Lotad from earlier. And I believe Lotad and Wobbuffet are the last two that we need. So, finally, we can sort this problem out. No quiz required here. And we didn't even have an odd machine on this one anyway. I actually really like this. It turns out with one of them, yeah, the Pokemon was just being itself. There wasn't any problem at all. I was kind of expecting if there was any Pokemon that would apply to it, probably would have been the Wobbuffet, but anyway, because Wobbuffet is, I don't know, it's kind of the big derp of Pokemon. But, speaking of Wobbuffet, let's go and see if we can use our new Cry Analyzer to finally cure it. Uh-oh, that's not good. And he is still completely silent. So, here, what you need to do is go back to Dr. Kaminko again. So, there is one last bit of backtracking in this quest. At least they're not making you backtrack through areas full of random encounters, like a certain scenario in one of the Mega Man Battle Network games. So, hi there, we have a problem. We have a really serious problem. Okay, then. So, we have to do a Wobbuffet impression. Wabba wabba. That sounded more like Waluigi or Wario, actually. That was terrible. So, with that knowledge, we have to go back to Agate Village one last time. Let's see if we can't finally sort this out. It actually worked! I'd kind of like to hear what this would have actually sounded like, voice acted. And Wobbuffet is talking again. Now we've cured all 13 Pokemon that were affected, we need to go back and talk to Bellu here. Wonder if she knew him when he was younger. With this, we get our reward, the Lucky Egg. Give this to a Pokemon, and it will gain double the usual amount of experience points that it will be getting from battle. Now, the Lucky Egg. This might not seem like much these days. But, well, I mean, you know, this is Agate Village full of senior citizens, so I'm gonna go on a rambly old man rant. All you young'uns these days won't appreciate this here quest. Back in my day, we didn't have all them newfangled Lucky Egg methods you get during the main story. No, we wanted a Lucky Egg, we had to work for it. We had to farm chances in the Safari Zone until they gave us a Lucky Egg. And they only had 5% chance of holding their Lucky Eggs, and because it was Safari Zone, you couldn't even use Thief there. Catcher 1 Chansey was bad enough, but we had to keep catching them until the 5% chance of them holding Lucky Egg. That was the only way we could get a Lucky Egg. So, this quest was the first time we could easily have access to one of these, so you better appreciate it. I am so sorry. But seriously, the Lucky Egg here, very, very important back in Gen 3, because it was the only way you could obtain it pretty easily. So, with that quest done, there is one more thing that I want to show. It's not strictly part of the quest, But you do get some dialogue if you go back and talk to Kaminko after you've finished all this. So I want to go ahead and do that. So we get a bit of background on Dr. Kaminko, and it's interesting to hear him reflect on his past like that. Wouldn't expect that from such an eccentric character. And with that, I think I'll end this here. Next time, we'll be taking care of one final bit of cleanup when it comes to Shadow Pokemon. There is one Shadow Pokemon left to catch in the game, so I'll see you for that.